Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another edition of 1911 Syndicate. Today we have the Blue Alpha War Belt, which I actually didn't think I'd like as much as I do. It's a great belt, it's a great setup. Got a couple different accoutrements on there. But before we get into that, a little bit of housekeeping. We are a real estate company. Right now, real estate is hot, whether it's the Utah market, Arizona market, where I'm at, really all over the country. If you guys need help with real estate, we would like to help you. We do help a lot of military, law enforcement, and first responders. However, we're going to sell a house to anyone, whether it's your grandma, your mom, your sister, you. You want to buy a house, sell a house, we're your guys. It's a great way to do real estate because Jake and I just show up as normal dudes and we're not wearing a suit, driving a Maserati or anything like that. So it's a little more relatable, a little more of a blue-collar real estate feel, if you want to call it that. We also have a Patreon, which we drop some exclusive content on there. Like when we're driving out to the range, we'll get on and do like a Instagram live that we just put up on the Patreon. There's some products on the Patreon, and hopefully in the future we'll get some cool interviews with some cool dudes and some exclusive content going on there. But if you want to give us your money just because you like supporting this crazy way we do real estate, well, Patreon's the way to do it. We also have a newsletter. Great thing about the newsletter is it will give you information on products and affiliates that we have with their product releases, maybe new things they have coming to the market, new gear that we're using, bunch of different options for that newsletter. We will not spam you, I promise, but you know, we'll get you some information on some good products. So if you're interested in that, sign up on our website, 1911syndicate.com. As always, to Instagram, YouTube, like, subscribe, share it with your grandma, with your grandpa, your dog, whoever you want. On that note, we'll jump into this Blue Alpha belt. Blue Alpha. So when we're doing this research for these belts, Blue Alpha kept coming up, so I reached out. They were kind enough to send me the belt and then kind of gave me some product info on it. So we're going to pull out some of that info. So this is a standard 2-layer system, which actually, not getting naked, Crispy, don't worry. We're going to pull off this inner belt. So your inner belt here is a non-metallic EDC belt as well, which is awesome. I really like when war belts do this because that way you can only wear one belt to the range if you like. Throw this on your drive out. Once you get to the range, slap on the outer belt, you know, train, shoot, have fun, and then take off your outer belt and you still have your non-metallic EDC belt. I'm a big fan of that, and I think more companies should start doing that. Some people might argue with other companies out there, you can use their underbelt or inner belt as an EDC belt. Problem with some of those that are on the market is they're too rigid and they're just not comfortable. When they're that 2-inch wide webbing, it just, for me, it's just not a very comfortable feeling. This is 1.75 inches as well as a 1.75 inch outer belt. I think that's a great width. It fits obviously in all your, what do you call those, belt loops? Belt loops on all your pants, but it's not thick enough to where it's uncomfortable, like digs into your side when you're sitting or anything of that sort. So inner belt as well as your outer belt. All these war belts that we review, and most war belts as always have your Cobra buckle, which Blue Alpha is no different. Got your Cobra buckle there. If you're not familiar with what a Cobra buckle is, I don't know where you've been living for the last like 5 years, because they're the hotness with almost all the belts and tactical gear on the market right now. Part of my belts that I like and is a must for me is gloves. So I got a little carabiner here that Blue Alpha also sent out. Thank you, Blue Alpha, to hold my gloves, as well as it's got a little lanyard hole. So if you want to clip your keys to it or anything of that sort, you can. As we were doing research on belts, a name that kept coming up quite a bit that I've been familiar with for quite a few years is the S-Tac Kiwis. So I threw on 2 Kiwis on here, 1 AR and 1 pistol. And full disclosure, they sent these to me. So thank you, S-Tac, for sending these out for the review. We really appreciate it. The pistol mag pouch is a double stack mag pouch. So my Glock mags will work in there, as well as any of your like 2011 mags will work in there. Even some of your single stack mags will work in here because the rigidity and the little plastic insert they have in there will work with it also. As far as a rifle mag pouch, got an AR mag pouch there, and they're like mid-ride height, which is nice. These pouches come in several different heights, so it covers more of the magazine or less of the magazine. This is the mid-size one, which I think is a great balance between enough purchase on the magazine and not enough purchase on the magazine. So big fan of those. Blue Alpha also was kind enough to send out their med pouch, which is a tearaway system. All my med gear is in there. And then this portion just remains on your belt. You could use this for medical stuff, for tools, for, I mean, anything you really want. Very modular, very, I think, essential piece of gear. Some of the belts that you'll see in the review don't have med kit on them because I didn't feel like unweaving it and throwing it on there. But I used to kind of just think that medical stuff on your war belt wasn't really necessary, especially for the range, because we carry a full med kit in the truck. I'd rather have it on the belt, especially with all this space available, and not need it than need it and not have it, right? That classic saying. Moving around to what I use for a holster setup. This is the Safariland QLS system with their mid-ride plate. I really enjoy this system for a couple different reasons. One, the modularity. So any of the holsters that I have that have the male QLS part, just clip into the female part, right? Birds and the bees, right, Crispy?
What's that?
Okay, yeah, exactly. That's what I thought you were gonna answer. So this will work with this holster because it has that system, as well as, and just so everyone at home doesn't freak out, I'm not pointing the gun at Crispy, but it is unloaded, okay? This is a Safariland retention holster that works with the QLS, obviously, and I can clip it right on. Here in a couple days, I hope to pick up a 2011. I'm gonna set up a holster the same way, so all my belts and my primary belt work off the same system, which is that QLS system. I'm a big fan of it. I have yet to have one break on me, knock on wood. It's been a really, really good piece of gear. That also, great thing with this is if you ever had to, or had a need to take the holster from your war belt and throw it onto a regular belt, this system does allow you to take that off, throw it on a belt, and then you could wear it just in plain clothes or whatever the case may be. So great little piece of kit. You know, I've run this on a war belt, as well as the True North Concepts modular holster adapter plate. There's pros and cons to both. The True North is dedicated to that belt with the way that it weaves through the webbing. This, obviously, it's wide enough that you can throw any belt through it. So kind of a cool little piece of gear. It makes it easy if you have multiple belts, or especially with this belt review, to switch the holsters from one belt to another, because it's not just stuck on that belt. Getting into price. Price of this belt is gonna run you $135 to $160. The price difference is gonna be on size, camo pattern. Some camo patterns are patented, so companies have to pay certain fees to use that camo. But I think for the price, for what this belt is, it's a great price point. Most bang for your buck, probably, thus far in the series, except for one other belt that we're gonna do. All right, so moving on to other features of this belt is the materials that they use. First off, one correction I gotta make. This is 1.5 inches. The outer belt is 1.75. You don't have to color match the inner to the outer belt, only if you want to. This one is Ranger Green. I just color matched it, so it was easy, but you could do a tan inner belt with a Ranger Green outer belt, whatever you guys wanna do. Knock your socks off, right? Materials. So this is scuba webbing, like standard war belts. However, this is not like the double layered system, so it's rigid, but not so rigid that it's uncomfortable. This belt does move a decent amount with you, and I think another thing that plays into that is that this is 1.5 and this is 1.75, so just, you know, with that extra quarter inch of movement space, as well as this not being terribly rigid, I think it's a great, it rides the line of enough rigidity, but not too much. Very, very comfortable belt. On the outside of the belt is all your MOLLE, like any standard war belt. All war belts have that MOLLE type system, except for the GBRS ones and the LBT ones, which have that Tigris MOLLE hybrid. So you can attach any pouches, mag pouches, holsters, tools, whatever piece of kit you feel you need, you can throw on here. A lot of people might ask us, like, why is it so minimal? Why didn't we add, like, I mean, there's dudes that have grenade pouches, knives, tomahawks. One, we play dress up on the range, so we don't need that. This is literally all we need. So the reason why it's such a low profile belt with not a lot to it is this is all we need. Guys that go overseas, or, you know, SWAT cops, they might need more on their belt. Especially the guys that go overseas are gonna definitely need more. One piece of essential kit that a buddy of mine says has to be on his belt at all time. Army guy, bunch of deployments. is a multi-tool. I don't have a multi-tool on this one, but because of all the MOLLE attachments, I can throw a multi-tool pouch on there, or just dedicate a pistol mag pouch to it if I want to. Run a chest rig with pistols in that. So getting to the last part of this belt, I think the price point is great. The craftsmanship is good. There's, if you guys are familiar with Warrior Poet Society, John Lavelle is affiliated in some way, shape, or form with them. He's been using their belt for a long time, has nothing but good things to say about it. However, much like he says in one of his videos, it is just a war belt, right? So pretty simple, not too complex, 2-layer system. As far as this is concerned, it's one of the best options for price point with what you get. You get just a high quality belt at a great price point that you can then add or take away attachments to for whatever you need. So big fan of it. I'll definitely be using this more. You'll see it in a decent amount of content over the next couple months. But yeah, other than that, stay safe. Have a good rest of your day. Thanks for watching.